Hey guys, welcome to day number 18 of 21 days of prayer for your business. Day 18. We got 19, 20, 21, 3 more days together after today. Hope you are enjoying this time every morning, or maybe you're missing a day here or there, but you're sticking with it because you're watching this. That means you haven't thrown in the towel. You are keeping on, and I love that. So, day number 18, it's going to be a very fun topic. We are going to be discussing competition. How is that going to be a good, fun topic? Well, stick with us for this hour, and we are going to see how competition is not a bad thing. It complements us. It really should not weigh us down or get in our head or anything like that. So you know the drill. You know the routine. We're going to do a little bit of housekeeping right here at the beginning. You know, I had this like major coughing fit right before I hit record, so I'm a little like, I've got hot tea beside me and I have got water beside me, and I've got like, you know, and so the hot tea is making me a little sweaty. Did you need to know that? Absolutely not. You do not need to know that, but squirrel moments are what add a little bit of character and pizzazz to videos, right? Okay. Just work with me here. All right, guys. Well, you know how we do it every single day. We go and we start with a little bit of housekeeping, and it goes a little bit like this. Today, we are going to be talking, actually, yesterday, if you caught it, I read just straight through the whole day's topic of being still. But we are walking through this book together, 21 Days of Prayer for Your Business. And last year, I walked some of my friends on social media through 21 Days of Prayer for Your Business. And we didn't have this book. We just talked through topics every single day. And throughout the remaining of the year, people kept saying, you need to put it into a book format. You need to put it into a book format. So I put it into a book format. And that is what we are going to be referencing a lot today in all the other videos. But if you've just found this video and you are hearing me discuss it, please rest assured that you do not need this book. If you want the book, you definitely can get it. You can get it at shop.spelloutyou.infuse.com. And you can get the book and follow along. But if you don't, it's not in your budget, or you don't have it, please don't let that be an excuse to keep moving forward with this time together, okay? Go grab a notebook, go grab a pen, and we're going to ask you some questions. I like to be just a little nosy. I get up in your business just a little bit, and I really want you to think through what we're talking about, and not just let it be words that you are reading or you're hearing, but that you're actually applying it to your life. You know, so many times when we read things, we just go, oh yeah. But we never stop to really become intentional and figure out how that pertains to our own life. You know, many of you have told me that the very first week was very, very difficult for you because it was asking these hard questions. I'm so thankful that you stuck with it. And you know, I was just telling someone, my friend Natalie, downstairs just a second ago, is that I am confident that every single person who has devoted time to this 21 days, not because of my words, but because you're seeking after God and really wanting Him to have control, I know that it is going to be a life-changing milestone in your life with these 21 days. And again, please hear me out. It is not because of a book I wrote, or it's not because of videos that I have pressed played and recorded every single day. It really is because you are being intentional and you are seeking after God. It says in the Bible, you know, when you seek Him, you will find Him. Like when you knock, the door is open. And so, you know, those moments that you're having and those aha moments, if you feel still stuck, or, hey, I'm waiting for my aha moment, just keep sticking with it. keep seeking after him. So, if you've not watched the other videos, because we're on day 18, so that means there's day 1 through 17 there for you to either read or watch. And if you've missed a day, I encourage you, go back and don't feel like, you have to do all these days right in a row. If you miss a day here or there, don't throw in the towel. Don't stop. Just pick back up. If you do day 1, 2, 3, and then day 4, something comes up in your life, and then even the next day something comes up, and then you go, oh, well, there's another thing that I tried starting, but I couldn't stick with it because you didn't complete it all in a row. Please don't let that mess you up. If you miss a date, then just pick back up where you left off and keep on going with that journey, okay? These really do build upon each other, and so it's really good to watch them. And just like algebra, I make that reference. If you are, trying to jump in on week 5 of an algebra lesson, you really need weeks 1 through 4. So really go through this process and let it build upon each other. So let's review really quick. Every day we kind of like to recap and look at our journey. Day 1, we decided it was about time to hand over control to God. Lord, I've done things on my own. I've tried this path my own ways, and I really feel like I'm going to give you a shot. Like, it's your turn to see, like, if you can do this a little bit better than I can. And can I let you in on a little secret? He can. So we just need to hand it over to him. That was day number 1. Day number 2, we talked about freedom from our past. I don't know about you, but there are so many things in my past that for so long I allowed it to dictate my future. I really did allow it to dictate where I was going. I allowed it to get in my head and keep me from the abundant life that really Christ Jesus had set out for me. And I believe there's so many others out there, and it's not just me, who continues to allow the enemy, and the enemy is real. He is out to steal, kill, and destroy, and I believe we allow him to hold us back from that abundant life, but we don't do that anymore, do we? We learned that day that we have tools that we can fight the enemy with. And the weapons we fight with are not of this world. No. They have the power to demolish every stronghold. We're going to take those thoughts captive, and we're going to make them obedient to Christ. And that was on day 2. Day 3, we discussed that you are a unique individual. You are uniquely made and designed for such a time as this. There's not one single doubt in my mind. You can sit there and go, oh no, but that's not me. No, yes, it's you. You are uniquely made, and there is a reason that you are here right now, watching this video even, for such a time as this. And I believe that whenever you figure that out on day 3 and you step into day 4 and you start praying for a vision, a God vision, what, Lord, I might not be able to see, and maybe he does drop this end gold end picture here, but so many times we don't get that end picture. You know why? Because maybe we're not dreaming big enough. Maybe we're putting limitations on God. But vision is just seeing one step in front of the other, and that is being a lamp, allowing the Lord and his word to be a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path, and go into his word every single day. Lord, direct me. That was day 4. Day 5, we started to become intentional. We did. We started taking what we were learning and the things that we know about ourselves, and let's become intentional. Let's just not let it be words that we've read or words that we've listened to, but we're going to apply it, and we're going to become intentional. We discovered our values that day, and the reason why those are our non-negotiables. Those are the things that if we don't get it in our life, things feel just a little off kilter. Right? That was day number 5. Day number 6, we decided that we're going to always be growing, and we're not just going to think that, hey, we've arrived. You know what? Hey, I finished the 21 days of prayer, and so, hello, I've learned all that I need to learn. That's silly. No, we're going to keep on growing. We are going to keep striving to grow our strengths. Look at our weaknesses. Let's improve on some things, but let's grow. Let's continue to grow. Day number 7 was very vital. It was all about not giving up. Everybody, I believe, comes at a crossroads at some point in life, and you've got to decide, do I throw in the towel? Do I keep going after these dreams? Or do I give up? And I pray that that is not your story. I'm very thankful that you're watching day 18 and that on this journey, you've not given up. Hard times may come your way. I hate to be a Debbie Downer. Hard times may come your way, but I pray that you do not give up. That was day number 7. Day number 8 was living a life of worship. You know, you and I have that unique design. We have unique passions. We have unique gifts, talents, passions, things that we love. And I believe that whenever we embrace those things for the benefit of others, it really is living a life of worship. We are being who God designed us to be. He's like, high five. That is why I made you. And it really is this act of worship to Him. We can worship Him with our words. We can worship Him with our life. We can worship Him with our relationships. We can worship Him with our time, our money, our material things. Living a life of worship. That was day number 8. And day number 9 was all about living a life of excellence. And, you know, there's a fine line between excellence and perfectionism. There is. Excellence is a good thing, right? And it is not perfectionism. Excellence, we discussed that day, is something that whenever you, I believe, it's whenever you are using your unique gifts and talents and the tools and the resources that you currently, that's a key word there, currently have on hand. Not the tools and resources someone else has, but the tools and resources that you currently have on hand. And that was day number 9. And day number 10 is very, very key because it's about perfectionism. And perfectionism weighs you down. It's kind of the other part, that's that fine line between excellence and perfectionism. You're never going to be perfect. You're not. I'm sorry. There's never going to be a day that you are perfect. If you think you're perfect, then you're not perfect because you think you're perfect. Like, you're prideful. I mean, let's just call it like it is. You're not perfect. You're never going to be perfect. And so that was on day number 10. Day number 11, we talked about creative problem solving. You know, one of the biggest things that can propel you forward in your business and in your career and really just in life in general is to see obstacles as opportunities. So we discussed that on day number 11. Day number 12 was all about building a community. We need people. You need people. We don't need to just live on an island by ourselves. We discovered that, you know, there's safety in numbers, and we really need to get in a group, and we need to be there for other people. You know, if maybe you haven't found that community, well, then you figure out how you can start a community. You know, well, I want all these people to accept me. Well, I want to be in this group. Well, I want to be, well, no, you start a community. You find a need and fill it. You encourage some other people. So you take that first step. So that was day number 12. Day number 13 was all about surviving conflict. Because, like I said earlier, if we're imperfect, we're not perfect, and then we're dealing with other people who are not perfect, that can be a recipe for disaster in like 10.2 seconds. It can. I mean, am I the only one that deals with these things? I know I'm not. When you deal with people, it can get a little messy. And so we talked all about surviving conflict. I would say probably 75%, maybe 50% of the messages I get are typically conflict related. Like, you know, can you help me out? I'm having an issue with this person, or I'm having an issue with this person, or with this person in my family, or with this child, or with this spouse. I mean, conflict. And it's going to come your way. And if you've never dealt with conflict, you will one day. I know I'm not being very uplifting, am I? Like, why am I watching this? You are really getting me down today, Monique. Conflict will come your way one day, and we need to figure out how to survive it. And so we discussed that on day 13. This is where I began to have to start cheating, because Short-term memory is something that I'm working through here. Day 14 is fighting for your family. You know, fighting for your family is so important because on this journey, we've got our family by our side. The majority of us do. And I challenge you to fight for that family. We kind of were joking around last night, just sitting around and discussing this exact topic of how whenever you've got stress in your family, how it spills over into your business. And when you have stress in your business, it spills over into your family. And it's just so important to fight for our family. Our families usually give us a little bit more grace than other people. I hope, and you know what? Sometimes that family unit is where we have the deepest hurts, and so we need to fight for family. We really need to be intentional. And that day we discussed how we could take every one of these topics that we're talking about, the 21 days of prayer for our business, and we can apply it to our family. So if you missed that day, go back and watch it. It's a good one. That was day number 14. Day number 15 was integrity matters. It does. You know, those things that we do when nobody else is watching, the things that we do that's the hard choices, not taking that little gray area, maybe we should cheat here, cut a corner here. No, that's not good. We need to have integrity in all we do, and having integrity is also being you. It's embracing your unique design and your values into everything you do, and I believe that's having integrity. It's being true to who you are. That was day number 15. And then day number 16, we went into be courageous. It's time now, as we're developing a lot of these skills, and we're you know, crossing off some things that are hindering us, and we're making some breakthroughs. It's time to be courageous. It's time to say, you know what, I'm not going to sit on the sidelines. It's that comfort zone couch, but I'm going to get up and I'm going to do some things that scare me a little bit, that give me some butterflies. It's worth it. It grows you. So that's what we talked about on day 16. Day 17, which was yesterday. Oh my goodness. Did you watch it? I have to take a big sigh, because day 17 is all about being still. And I cried probably through the whole entire video, but it's one that was really near and dear to my heart, and something that I'm currently walking through, and I felt like was a big defining aha moment for me when I was writing this book, and just very near and dear to my heart. So I pray that really is one of my biggest prayers for you, is that you are able to embrace day number 17, which leads us to today, day number 18. Competition compliments you. Thank you for allowing me to recap those days. You know, you may think, Monique, why do you do that? That's kind of a waste of time. I've watched all the videos, but I believe it's so important to hear something over and over and over and over. It really does take hearing something several times, unfortunately, for it to really sink in. So thanks for letting me review that with you every morning. So day 18, if you don't mind, I'm going to start us off just with like a 5-second prayer, and then we're going to dive in, okay? Lord, I thank you for every single person who's watching this. And Lord, I just pray that as we are discussing this topic today, that you would speak to people. Lord, I pray that you would give me the words to say and bring things to my mind. Even if I didn't prepare it, if I'm supposed to say it, Lord, just let me think of it. And if I need to go different directions or think of different things, Lord, just, you know, you lead and guide my words. And ultimately, it's not about my words. It's about you speaking to people during this time. And I pray that as people are listening to this, that you do speak to them, and you do give them those divine revelations and those aha moments. I thank you, Jesus, in your name. Amen. All right, guys. Well, day number 18 is competition compliments you. And this 21 days is devoted really to 21 days of prayer for our business, our careers. And really, I believe you've probably figured it out by now that these topics really pertain to any aspect in life. Anybody could do it. Anybody could walk through these topics and get something from it, even if they were not relating it to a business aspect. Day number 18 is actually something that I did not discuss on the original 21 days of prayer that I did last year with my team and the people who followed me on social media. But when I was writing the book, my parents were kind of hanging out with us at the beach, and we were sitting out at the beach under this little umbrella. My dad's sitting next to me, and I was getting near the end stages of writing here. And my dad had been reading every day, and I was letting him kind of critique it and what did he think about everything. And I said, you know, what are your thoughts? I kind of feel like I've got a couple more days here. But there was one day that I felt like maybe I needed to change it up. I felt like I kind of already talked about that topic a good bit in the other days. And so I said, can you think of something else that needs to be discussed? My dad's a business guy, and you know, he's had his own businesses. And so I said, what do you think? And he said, hey, I'm telling you, you need to talk about competition. He said, competition, everybody feels like they have it, and it can really wear you down. It can really be something that is this just, competition, like, you know? And so he said, talk about it, because competition really is meant to compliment you. So Dad thought that just since he gave me that, and he had a chapter topic that I really should have put his name on here with mine. He kept asking me if I was going to do that. He's so crazy. But anyway, he loves that he had input with a topic in this book. So competition compliments you. I want to start off by reading to you. If you do not have the book, if you have the book, it's on page 132. But I was kind of being silly in the first paragraph. I like being silly. Silly's good, right? And the opening paragraph, I don't know when you started reading it if you were like, what in the world is she talking about? Like, has she lost her mind? And maybe you guys have just been around me long enough that you're like, used to my shenanigans. But I am going to read to you straight from the book, the opening paragraph for today's topic. I say, hello, hello. After a day of rest, we are going to transition into a topic that could be a little stressful. Hang in there with me. I'm so glad you are trekking right through all these days. You are a rock star. I'm sure you are sticking with this better than anyone else. Your friends who are doing this same study have nothing on you. Oh, no, they don't. Yep. You are putting way more thought into it. Oh, wait. There were a few people who memorized the verses quicker than you did. I forgot that point. Now that I think about it, they also spent several hours throughout the day pondering the questions that were asked in each day's topic. I honestly don't think it's fair that they decided to do the same study that you were doing. The nerve. Didn't they see that you bought your book first? I heard a few did 2 or 3 days topics. I heard a few did 2 or 3 topics a day to get ahead of you. They are cheaters. I knew it. They need to go back and read the day on integrity. Shady. You should report them. If you are friends with them on social media, you need to unfriend them immediately. You also should do a post explaining how evil and bad they are. That will prove that you are a better person. If I were you, I would work harder the last 3 days to crush them. You can get ahead of them if you try hard. You need to win. You must win. Game on. Now that is silly. Is that silly? That is so silly. If you are getting up and I'm really legitimately saying, can you believe they bought that book? They're going to do the 21 Days of Prayer. What are they thinking? Like, that's silly. We just do not have that kind of attitude, right? Or do we? Do we have that kind of attitude throughout the course of our lives? Maybe with the dreaded word that we never want to hear, competitors? Am I the only one? Am I just this horrible person that deals with thoughts like that? Well, I told you guys at the beginning, the very first, day when I was talking about my journey, that was my attitude in business. That was my attitude when I very first had that scrapbook store. I was out to crush the competition. The other scrapbook stores in the area, hello, you're going out of business. New girl in town, you're about to get crushed. Oh, can I tell you, that is a horrible place to be. It just doesn't feel good. It doesn't set well. You kind of feel icky. Okay, well, I say right here, I go on to say, the above situation sounds so silly, right? Of course it does. However, we think like this each and every day in regards to those we believe are our competitors. In the scenario above, the other person doing the study wasn't a competitor. They simply were on a mission to grow in life and devote time to prayer just like you. You were on a journey. They are on a journey. They are seeking after freedom. You are seeking after freedom. They would like to discover their unique design. You would like to discover your unique design. They have hurts. You have hurts. If you have the book, I hope you underlined a lot this next sentence. A competitor isn't a competitor unless you have decided there is a competition. I have to say, that's pretty good right there. You need to write that down. A competitor isn't a competitor unless you have decided there is a competition. You need to think on that for a few seconds. Seriously. I say above again, however, we think like that in each and every day regarding to those who we believe are our competitors. Let's check out what the definition of competitor actually is. Mr. Webster says, someone who is trying to win or do better than all others, especially in business or sports. Someone who is competing. All right, well, competition is there. Competitors are there. So the first part of homework that I give you that I want your mind to go to is think about it. Who do you deem your competitors in your business? You really do you may have actual in business, in the world's eye of what a competitor is. You may have one. And who are they? I mean, you've got Burger King, McDonald's. Starbucks. What's another company that serves coffee? I don't know. I really don't drink it. You've got a one department store. You've got Macy's. You've got Nordstrom's. When I worked retail, we had Macy's and we had Rich's. And you're always trying to do better than the other store. Sports, you're always trying to do better than the other team. So what is it? Think about that. And I later say on page 133, if you've got the book, I talk about how maybe the other person, the competitor, maybe your heart's in the right place, but maybe they are out to crush you. In business, unfortunately, that is the mindset. For me to win, you have to lose. The only way I'm going to find success is if I crush you. You're going down, and you're going down fast. I say here, you can't control how someone else acts or thinks. In the realm of competition, in the realm of competitors, you will never be able to control how someone else acts or thinks, but you can control how you act or think. When you think about competition, competitors, you can control that mindset that is living in you. I say here that competition can make you better or competition can make you bitter. Competition can complement you or it can control you. Competition can bring out the best in people or the worst in people. Be the person who takes the high road. In a world of cutthroat business, you be the person that's a breath of fresh air. You be the person who steps out and goes, I'm gonna do this different. I'm going to let this look a little different in my life, in my business. You know, one of the things that I love about our pastor, Pastor Chris Hodges at Church of the Highlands in Birmingham, is that he is so amazing that he's always complimenting and speaking highly of other churches, even in our area. You know, I grew up in church, and my dad was a pastor for a good bit of my life. And, you know, you even had competition with churches. Like, oh, well, which church do you go to? Oh, well, I go to this church. Well, I go to this church. Well, you need to come to my church. Well, my church better than your church. Well, my church believes this. Well, my church believes that. Oh, well, your church believes that. Oh, your church is a cult. I mean, you know, it cracks me up. Our church, the church I go to now, Church of the Highlands, you know, whenever there's anything written about them or there's something on social media, you inevitably are going to have these group of people who are like, that church is a cult. I mean, they are. And people are, oh, you know what? And even other Christians, well, you know what? It's like there is this competition, because if it's remotely different, or you go here, go there, we bring competition into every aspect of our lives. Let's look at what Galatians, this verse, can I tell you, has completely rocked my world. Galatians 6:4-5. Did you know competition has been around since the beginning of time? By reading this verse, it is crystal clear. Like, we have had competition around since the Bible days. Let's read Galatians 6:4-5. Remember, I've just asked you above to think about who your competitors are. So I hope you wrote it down in your book, or if you don't have the book, you've got your notebook and you've written down a few people who you think, businesses or people, who are your competitors. Now, let's read Galatians 6:4-5. This is hilarious. Pay careful attention to your own work. For then, if you're a book writer, please tell me you have circled these words. Pay careful attention to your own work. For then you will get the satisfaction of a job well done. And you won't need to compare yourself to anyone else. For we are each responsible for our own conduct. This verse has got to be my most favorite verse right now. Well, that is until I probably tell you the next verse. Does that not just blow your mind? Does that not like step on your toes? Hello, Monique, or insert your name. Girl, can you please pay careful attention to your own work? Can you please keep your nose in your own business for 1 second, Monique? Monique, come on, sister, pay attention to your own work. For then you are going to get the satisfaction of a job well done, and you are not going to need to compare yourself to nobody else. Pay attention to your own work and quit getting your nose up in other people's business. For we are each responsible for our own conduct. Monique, quit trying to worry about what somebody else is doing. Hey, pay attention to your own conduct. You can't fix what they do or how they think. But the competition, they are cruel. They are out to crush me. You know, I've been watching a conversation with a group of people who are in our business, and you know, they're upset about some things of people who are just kind of doing some shady things, and they're like, oh well, you know, they're doing this, and rightfully so, they're upset. You know, they're upset. Oh yeah, well, it makes me mad too. I mean, they need to quit doing that. What in the world? And just why are they doing that? And we just, you know, let them be shady, and it's wearing you down, and you're so heavy because you're worried about somebody else being shady. You just worry about your own conduct. You can't control what they do. Just control what you do. Competition can weigh you down, but we just need to pay attention to our own issues, okay? So I say, I hope you underlined or circled some words there. Pay careful attention. Not just pay attention, but pay careful attention. So what does paying careful attention look like? So I say, examine very carefully what you do, why you do it, and what is the heart behind it. So really analyze it. I'm not just being aware of it, but I'm asking myself some hard questions. So let's pay careful attention to our own work. Then it says, own work, my work, not somebody else's. Then, when you do that, then you will get the satisfaction of a job well done. You're going to get your fulfillment not by crushing the competition or being better than the competition, but the satisfaction of a job well done. Well, I did what I could do. I did what I could do. I paid attention to my own business. What happens when we compare? When we start getting our nose up in other people's business instead of our own, what does that look like? When we start comparing, we've talked about comparison before and how it robs your joy. It robs my joy when I start comparing myself. When I start looking at how the competitors are doing it, the people that I believe are my competitors, because remember again, it's not a competitor if there's not a competition. But let's go there. Like, you can only do one of two things. When viewing somebody else and comparing yourself to someone else, you can only do one of two things. Either you are thinking in your mind as you look at this other person or this other business, you are either thinking, I am better than them, or you are thinking, I am not better than them. I'm better than them? Oh, oh yeah. I've got it going on. Do you see what they do? Did you see their marketing? That's horrific. I've got it going on. I'm better than them? That's pride. Not good. Pride goes before a fall. Yeah, have we talked about that? Don't go there. Please don't go there. It's not good. When you do that, I've got it all going on, so you sit back. Do you remember back in the day, BlackBerry and Apple? BlackBerry said, we got all the business people up in here. They're not going to give up their BlackBerries. We dominate that market. You quit being innovative. Competition compliments you. It makes you go, well, you know what? I need to keep working. I need to keep striving. These are some things that I could work on. Oh, do you see how they did that? Did you see how they were innovative? Did you see how they changed? Did you see what they did there? It compliments you. So if you think you're better, it paralyzes, you stop. Pride creeps in. But if you look at competition and you're constantly not measuring up, well, their marketing is amazing and my marketing is horrific. And we're always going to be, we're never going to be able to do it. And that's not good either. Competition needs to complement you. And it all goes back to your own. Pay careful attention to your own. You should only be measuring yourself to yourself. Look at the world. Look at who you deem are your competitors. Look at the things that they are doing. But then take it and measure it back to yourself. What are ways? I tell you, our church, a lot of the ideas and a lot of the things as far as even growing our business, when I started, I looked at our church and I looked at how they did things. And I was like, Monique, how can you use that to complement your business? Now, I would never look at my church, obviously, as a competition, so that really doesn't apply there. But I challenge you, who are your competitors? Who are those things in the world's eyes look like your business competition? Well, let them compliment you. What are the things that they do good? What are the things that they are excelling in? And how can you take that and learn from it? When I began the journey with my company, I had no clue anything about the business that I was diving into. And so that meant I had no clue that there was a direct competitor out there. I mean, obviously, maybe if I would have thought about it, maybe I would have realized ultimately everybody has a competitor out there in life, but I didn't realize it. I just started using our product, and I never even thought about having to crush the competition, or I never thought that I needed to do anything to get people away from there to over here. Like, my mind never went there. And I started growing my business, and then quickly realized that there is somebody else out there that is what the world deems as a competitor. And I quickly realized that other people that were in our business were constantly trying to figure out how to crush the competition, and the competition is evil, and the competition does this, and let me tell you about this. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's great, but, well, Monique, do you know they did this? And do you know, well, that's great. I mean, I'm just over here liking my product. I'm just over here liking what I'm using. And I'm just over here telling people what I like and what I love. And I'm not having to go and go, let me tell you, there's this other, and you don't need to go there. No, that's just so icky. Don't do that. I challenge you that whenever you have what the world deems as a direct competitor, never tear them down. Never speak poorly of them. One of the things I always would like to say when I very first got started in my business, and people would ask, well, what do you think about so-and-so? And I would say, oh, I'm sure it's a great company. I'm sure this is what I use and I love it. But hey, if you use it, that's awesome. You know what I love? What I absolutely, positively love is that during this 21 days of prayer, I specifically have only slipped up a couple of times and said the company's name that I am with, but I've tried so hard to keep that out because I know what it's like for people to get in their minds that I don't want to send my people over there because maybe we do the same thing, and I don't want it to feel like there's this competition and you're going to take my people, or I'm going to take your people. It just is the way business goes down. It just is. And in some companies more than others, per se, I get it. But what I love is that in what the world deems with my business, who would be our direct competitor in the company, do you know there are people from that company actually doing this 21 days of prayer for their business? There are. And it's why I've been trying so hard not to even speak my company's name here. It's about so much more. It's about so much more. This journey you and I are on is about so much more. You know, just like that opening paragraph was so silly for me to say and compare you to be in a competition with the other people who are doing this 21 days of prayer, by me going, you know what, you're a rock star, and these other people who are doing the 21 days of prayer, well, you have got it going on, and you're doing it way better than they are. Yeah, you are, and you're memorizing the verses faster than they are, and you're probably going to crush them, and you're going to get way more out of it. Just like that sounds so silly, we really need to filter that thought process when we're looking at competition. And I get it, you know, we do need to succeed, and we do need, but I really don't think it has to be at the expense of carrying this heavy weight around on us that we have to crush somebody or we have to beat somebody. They have hopes and dreams just like you and I. They have families just like you and I. They woke up this morning and just wanted to embrace their unique design and who they were made to be. You know, in the company that I'm with, and the direct competitor that the world would see as my direct competitor, which I refuse to look at it that way. I've got a friend who's in that company, and you know, it can get nasty sometimes with companies, and she works with this other company that, again, we're in the world's eyes direct competition with us, and she has been sending me messages through this 21 days. Even asking tips for growing her business. And in the world's eyes, I would be absolutely insane to even remotely give her a second of my time. Why would you? But do you know then the next message she sends me talks about how the Lord has been working with her very deeply on some things. She starts sharing how this last year has been so hard on her in her family. She's not a competitor. She's my friend. She's my sister in Christ. Hopefully, we're on the same road to eternity, not to crush one another. I'm not trying to steal her away from another company. I'm not trying to tell her, this is what I think about you. No, let's just do life together. Let's do life together. It's about so much more. When we can start looking at other people differently, it's not a competitor unless there's a competition. And I'm not at a competition with her. I would dare to say in business, the majority of all of us, there's enough to go around. You look at a McDonald's and there's typically a Burger King right across the street. Are they both in business? Yes, they're both in business. When you go to a mall, there's a Macy's at one end and there's a Nordstrom's at the other. Are they both in business? Mm-hmm. There's enough people to go around in life. In business, let's as Christians, as people who are trying to embrace God in every aspect of our life, can we for but a brief second try understanding that it's about so much more? It's about so much more. It's about really walking out this life Christ-like. We really can't be Christ-like if we're always trying to be cutthroat. It's about so much more. So the next thing I ask you to do is, one, recognize who your competitors are. Who are your competitors? Then I want you to start thinking about who do you compare yourself to. So maybe just not even the competitors in the world sense, but do you have people that you compare yourself to? How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel? I go on to say on page 134, if you've got the book, the verse goes on to say that when you pay careful attention to your own work, then you will have the satisfaction of a job well done. The satisfaction doesn't come from paying careful attention to how you have crushed the competition. The satisfaction doesn't come from being better than someone else. The satisfaction comes because you were focusing on you and your mission. The deep fulfillment comes from embracing who you were designed to be. When you discover this secret in life, you no longer have to compare yourself to others. When you discover this secret in life, you no longer have to compare yourself to others. When you know who you are, when you know what your values are, when you know what your mission is, you're on a mission. You are paying careful attention to, you don't have time to get caught up in that mindset. You are so laser focused on who you are in your mission. You can't give this other a second of your thought. When others succeed, that does not mean you fail. When others succeed, it doesn't mean you have failed. You don't measure yourself to others. You measure yourself to yourself. That verse right there that we have discussed, it ends by saying, for we are each responsible for our own conduct. There are two other translations that say, for every man, the King James Version says, for every man shall bear his own burden. And then the NIV says, for each one should carry their own load. That word there, conduct, load, and burden, the Greek word actually means cargo or load. It actually means cargo or load. And this is what it says. The definition of that Greek word is it means a burden which must be carried by the individual as something personal, hence not transferable. It cannot be shifted to someone else. The root word of the Greek word, it's load or cargo. When you think of load or when you think of cargo, I think of something very heavy, very heavy. And what I want us to focus on right here at the end of our today's topic is whenever we pay attention to our own conduct, like it's hard enough carrying my own load. Like dealing with my own load is hard enough. But when I have to start worrying about the conduct of others, when I need to carry the burden, that load of how someone else maybe is acting or they're doing this or they're carrying somebody else's load, I've got enough of my own load to carry. So how do you feel? That's the next area of homework that I dive into today is when you are carrying somebody else's load, when you are getting your nose out of your own business and onto the other, like I just told you, when I had these friends who were just so worried right now because people are doing some shady stuff and they're doing some shady stuff and that shady stuff is affecting me and my business. And yeah, it's frustrating. But it's so wearing on you when you are so consumed by the dealings of somebody else. It's heavy. It just makes you, don't do it. Don't pick it up. So how does it make you feel? When you compare, when you view other people as competitors, when you feel like you've got to compete, how does that make you feel? I end our topic here today by saying, I get it. I understand it. I'm a competitive individual. I would dare to say I'm a little bit more competitive than you are. I'm just kidding. That was meant to be funny. Get it? Competitive. I'm competitive. I'm a competitive individual. I love a good, healthy competition. You know what? I'm really not into sports. I'm not into sports. Like, I care nothing to go watch a football game. I will not probably go watch a football game in person. I may watch a little bit. When the national championship was going on, everybody's downstairs, and it was like right at the last quarter, and I was like, all right, guys, I'm going to bed. And everybody's like, what? How? Now, with that being said, because I'm a competitive individual, I will smack talk during a football game. You know, I'm like, because I'm a competitive individual, I really don't care. But I just love a good, healthy competition. Board games in the McLean household. Board games in the McLean household, somebody's going to end up crying. Don't send me hate mail. Please don't send me hate mail. But I'm telling you, in the McLean household, there are times that we've been playing Monopoly for hours that my children have ended up leaving crying. Because I'm not going to let them win. I'm playing cutthroat. That's not nice. I'm a competitive individual, so I get it. I get it. There's a lot of people who are very driven. You know, I tell another funny story in the book that I'll never forget when we went on a family cruise, a Disney cruise. And I love that Disney always has these fun games that you can play as a family or that you can play with the kids. And, oh, geez. It was a wooden frog jumping contest, okay? I know it sounds crazy, but I will explain it. A wooden frog jumping contest. And what it was is there was this wooden frog connected to a rope. And you had to do the rope up and down to make the frog go. And whichever frog got to the end was the winner. Now, our daughter, Alyssa, they were much younger, was in this competition. And can I tell you, it was kind of cute and fun the first time, but it was these kids and whoever won got to go to the next round. And then, it kind of kept progressing on. And Alyssa made it to the final round of the wooden frog jumping competition. Now I need you to know we were in the middle of the wide open seas. surrounded by other children, families, kids, probably grandparents. And the cube competition that started off really fun started getting a little intense as she started progressing to the other stages. And Jer and I are both highly competitive individuals. And I'm watching and I have realized this lane right here, there's something about that frog. It just jumps a little bit faster. So I was like, Alyssa, get in that lane. Get in that lane. We got to win. These other kids are going down. They're going down. They're going down. You guys, they blew the whistle. The wooden frog competition jumping, they started going. They started going. Jer and I are at the end. Go, Lisa. You can do it. Come on. And I start looking around and I'm thinking, oh my word, we are crazy. We have literally gone to crazy town up in the middle of the high seas here. Nobody else is acting a fool like we're acting. We have lost our ever-loving minds. Come on, Alyssa! You can do it! Oh my gosh! Jump, 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 jump! It is like she is like Michael Phelps doing like the butterfly, getting to there. Come on! You can do it! And she wins. And we're like, yes! She won! And everybody is like, it is a wooden frog jumping competition. People, you need to calm down. So we're competitive. Okay, so I get it. I understand it. If you have got that genetic makeup like we do, we need to embrace today's topic a little bit more than those people who are those personalities that are just like, there's some people that are like, this day has not related to me at all because I just don't think that way. My mind doesn't go there, but I'm so glad that you don't deal with that. But for those of us who are highly competitive individuals, we need to step back, okay? We need to get our nose out of other people's business, and we need to understand, look, it's about so much more. It is not about crushing them. It's just about paying attention to our own works. What are these ways that we're uniquely made? What are these things that we can do? And let's just walk out our mission. And let's put blinders on either side of our eyes. And let's just not watch. Let's not watch them. Let's not watch them. Okay. My stomach's growling. Okay, let's look at Matthew. We're going to end. I think I've scared some people. I think I've scared you. Let's look at Matthew 11:28 through 30. Because when you're competitive, it can weigh you down. So let's look at what the Bible says that we need to do. Then Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I'm humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light." Let's just take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And let's not look at competition as these evil, horrible, no good people. But they actually can complement us. Let's look at the walkout points together, and then we're going to close in prayer. On page 137, if you have the book, I say, look at your list of those you view as possible competitors, because you wrote them down, right? Think of all their positive qualities. Don't look at their negatives. Concentrate on the good things they possess and not the negatives. Write these out in the notes section. How can you allow this to make you better rather than make you feel inferior or insecure? Fight the urge. This is number 2. Fight the urge to speak negatively about those you may see as competitors. Take the high road at all times. Never tear down others to build yourself up. You know that's what we do. Go out of the way to speak life and show love at all times. Number 3, become more aware of the emotions and feelings you experience when you carry the load of others. When these times come, stop, hand them over to God. And finally, Memorize and meditate on Galatians 6, 4 through 5, and Matthew 11, 28 through 30. Let's pray. Lord, I love you so much, and I thank you again just for every single person who comes day in and day out to watch these videos and devote this time to you and to read these topics each day. And Lord, maybe I'm the only one who needed to hear this. Maybe I'm the only one who wants to get a little cutthroat and wants to crush the competition. But Lord, I pray that you help us. Just help us in this area. Help us view others in a way that you view them. Lord, may we see that this journey is about so much more. They have a story just like we have a story. Give us a heart for others. May we just not play like the world plays. May we not do business as the world does business. May we shine. When we embrace these concepts and we begin to act Christ-like in our business, we will shine. We will stand out. We will pave a new way of doing things. Doesn't have to be cutthroat. Show us the times, Lord, that we act that way. Show us the times when that pride creeps in or that comparison creeps in. Show us how we can be better at this, Lord. Help us. We need you. We come to you and ask for your help on this because, Lord, our flesh wants to call the shots so many times, and we don't want it to. Lord, we want you to call the shots. I love you, Lord. I love you so much. I thank you for all of my friends who are devoting this time to you. I pray, Jesus, that you speak to them, that you lead them and guide them, and that you continue to just make your face shine upon them, Lord. In your name, amen. Well, I love you guys, and I don't know if you deal with today's topic like I do, but I really needed to hear that. I have to keep that on the forefront of my mind, and I pray that you just begin to look at people differently. Tomorrow, day number 19, it's examine your experiences, and we're going to do a lot of analyzing tomorrow. If you've got the book, there's a lot of writing tomorrow. If you don't have the book, then you might need to go get you a fresh new notebook, because there's going to be a lot of writing, and I look forward to it. It's all about examining your experiences, and we're going to take a trip down memory lane. So I love you. I hope you guys have the most fantastic day ever. All right, I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.